or dynamic JavaScript, and you can go and view that. It will show you some of the things that we've been able to work up so that you can implement localized text. So let's take a look here. What I want to show you is here in hierarchy.html, here's where your actual text is. So if you needed to change, if you didn't like the words that are used, here's the word home, contents, index, search. If you need to change these, then that's where those appear. If you need to add some dynamic text for localization, that's also where you would insert that dynamic text. And of course, you would be doing this in index.html, not hierarchy.html. I think I've beat that horse enough. I'll stop it. Now, one other thing I haven't pointed out yet is there is a home button here on the bar, on the navigation bar. And what this does is it returns to your home. Now, it doesn't show you in the browser, doesn't show you where this is linking to, but currently this is set to link to JustSystems website. And we can change that. All you need to do is find XMWebHelp script common param.js. So let's do that. Here's common param.js. So let's open that file in our editor. So here, and actually I've gone in here and I made this change already a while ago, and I forgot to undo it. But it used to point to JustSystems, and I've changed it now so if we click that link, we now go to Scriptorium's website. Tools pane is all very much the same. Let's just bring a little bit of the editor or the help on so we can see what we're talking about here. So in the tools pane, there's the table of contents, the highlighting in table of contents. We can change that through the CSS. The index, all we do is look for #WH index, and we can change anything there. And same thing with WH search if we need to change some text there. And then the highlight for the query, at least in this area here. So again, if I type oil, you notice we get a highlight here. This also comes from WH query. So let's take a look at the JavaScript file. WebHelp.css. So here we have, if we wanted to change the format of the talk, we could change any of these WH talk entries, or WH talk tree. So if we wanted, say, to change this to times, I don't know why you would, but it allows us to do that. So now our contents is displayed using times. So we can do a lot of things from the CSS file. Here we have the search. So and our search button. And here we have. Let's see, what am I looking for? I'm looking for WH query. And here we have WH query background color yellow. So if we wanted to change the background color for at least the search term in that navigation area, we could change it right there. Again, some of the text for the tools pane, this is also in index.html. Things like in search where it says enter search term. This actually comes from index.html. There are some other text, though, particularly in the search, does come from script webhelp.js, and that includes if you were to enter a term here that is not known, it says no results for X, Y, Z, Z, Y, and this text actually comes from the webhelp.javascript file. What can we change on the content pane? Well, the content pane, a little bit more difficult to change because, of course, it is generated by the Open Toolkit through the XHTML transform. So if you wanted to do things in a hacking mood, you could just go in and find the file common left to right.css or common ltr.css and replace that. So here in the sample, in the output that we have, here's our common LTR. We could go in and change that. Also in our in the actual DITA Open Toolkit, we can let's see, I'll have to poke around and find that. Let's not do that, but just know that in the Open Toolkit you can do that. Now, the important point here is that for a lot of changes, a lot of things that you want to change on the actual content area of the WebHelp, we have an archived webcast on hacking the DITA Open Toolkit. We also have a white paper on that. And so if you're interested in making changes to your actual content, I strongly recommend you, you take a look at that, as well as the other information that's available on the web about changing the XHTML transforms. Also, the search background color. Now, I was emphasizing the search background color. You can change it in the navigation area. Changing the search background color in the actual content area is a little bit different. There you actually need to find webhelp.js, and there's a line in there, var highlight equals, and from there, that's where you set that. And let me open this up and show you. I'm doing this off screen, that's why there's the pause. So here's webhelp.js, and let's look for var highlight. And so you notice here we have var highlight, we have some code, and then we say background color yellow. So if you didn't like yellow as the highlight background color for your searches, this is where you would go to change it in your actual in the content area. Now, you can also make that dynamic, and as well as the other text I've been pointing out, the hard-coded text. And if you're interested in making that text dynamic, particularly for localization, we have a webcast on dynamic text display, and describes a particular project that we had where we actually had to deal with dynamic text. We had to generate output for multiple localizations and multiple products, and we used dynamic text display to do that. I mentioned headers and footers. Now this, again, is pretty standard DITA Open Toolkit stuff. DITA Open Toolkit has placeholders so that you can add running headers, running footers to your output files. You can also change the top header information, so that would include the metadata in your output. And the way you modify these is actually through the XMetaL interface. So what you want to do is, for your output, actually we need to go to Tools, Configure Output, WebHelp, and then we say Edit. You notice here under WebHelp we have fields for page metadata, page header, and page footer. And so I'm going to add a footer to our document, and actually I've already created it. This is a